Welcome back. I'm going to talk about appearance today, how you should look on camera, how you should look at live and maybe smell live, how you should present yourself, whether that's with your visual, with your face, your background, your props in the film. We want to make sure that you're looking sharp and that you're on brand. Hopefully this is really helpful to you and for the folks that are meeting with you to help make sure that you're on brand, they're on brand, and everybody is having a great experience. Going to get into the biz dev theme, and I'll be right back with you.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.
All right, so thanks for being with me today. So we're going to talk about appearance, really important. This is your best foot forward. This is how you say it to sell it. This is how you create that great experience with the person that you're communicating with or the people that you're communicating with. It's in practice today with me communicating to you. How do I put myself together to look visually interesting for those that are watching? And hopefully I've done a fairly good job with that for my intended audience, but creating that basic appearance that I'm comfortable with is really important. And for you, as you're getting on to Zoom, as so many people are right now, meeting on virtual meetings, whether it's WebEx or Skype or FaceTime or Google Meet, whatever it is, you are presenting that image of yourself. And you have this square box that we're working in. So you have your face, your eyes, your mouth. What does that all look like? If you're using a virtual background, is that some of it fuzzy? We want to make sure that you are looking sharp and presenting your best foot forward. So what you want to do is you want to put yourself together in a way that you're not worried about what you look like, so that you're not touching yourself, which looks awkward on camera, right? You know, we're in COVID times. If somebody's touching their nose or mouth or fidgeting and that sort of thing, that doesn't look great. So you want something where you can look directly in the camera so that it looks like, for myself, I'm looking you eye to eye, not looking down into my stuff, not looking down into the camera because I'm looking at myself on camera, but looking into the camera. I want it eye level. I don't want to have that situation where I'm kind of looking down at everything. That's not a great look. You want something where, you know, this visual profile is sort of eye level and is how basically it looks like if we were talking to each other in person. For in person, I want to make sure that I smell right, that I'm you know, my stuff is clean, that I look clean, I smell clean, all that good jazz. When we're meeting in person, we know how much that's important, right? Because if we're not, if there's a smell, if the things are dirty, that takes away from our message and from our brand and our trust. What kind of trust people are willing to give us based on our appearance and who we are and how we show up. The same is true online. How you show up online. Are you able to get yourself into a space where there's not a lot of outside noise? And while I won't say that, you know, any noise around you affects how people are going to look at you, if you can't control your environment enough to have a half an hour discussion or be online for an hour, especially if you're in a situation where you're presenting or proposing, what kind of faith does that give the person that you're able to create the space enough to do some actual work or do something of actual, you know, importance in terms of getting stuff done kind of thing, if you can't section out an hour for this virtual presentation. That may not be fair, but that's certainly going to play into how people perceive us and how they pay into whatever we're offering. For your face and everything, I really just want to focus on making sure that you look clean, you look sharp, that, you know, there's nothing that detracts from what you're saying. And more important than the way that you look is the way that you feel, so that when you're on camera, again, you can look into the camera and you're not worried about this, because however you looked, whatever you got going on, you know, I think about, you know, folks that, you know, our current, you know, executive for Westchester, he has like a lazy eye. So there's nothing he can do about that. But as he speaks, you know, not worrying about it, not being worried about it is going to play into his ability to deliver a good message. So the show continues on like the world's around you, but I'm not worrying about it. I'm not apologizing for it. I'm just delivering on message. And that's really important. I think people that over apologize depower their statements. So just accept whatever is going on and power forward and deliver your message cleanly and very astutely. All right. Let's talk about the uniform. Not having to think about the stuff that you put on. I wear a suit and tie, and a large reason for that is, one, I feel comfortable in that. It's my suit of armor, so to speak. As I go out in the world, it just makes me feel strong. It makes me feel protected. It makes me feel secure. It's hard to explain, but I'm comfortable in it. You got to find what's comfortable for you and for your audience and for what you're selling, not necessarily so much on what exactly you think people are looking for, but really on your own comfort. You know, I think it's ideal if it's in line with your product and brand and offering. I look at Gary Vee and his communication, his education, his type of expression, you know, the fact that he wears like polos or t-shirts and jeans, that sort of thing. It doesn't conflict with his message, but more importantly, I would say he's comfortable. And so that allows him to speak comfortably. So you have to do the same for yourself. What allows you to speak comfortably? What's on brand for you? And rock with that. I wear my suit and ties. I don't put a lot of thought into my gear and outfit for each individual day, aside from the fact that, you know, it's not broken and, you know, it's clean, it's ironed, that sort of stuff. And I focus on procuring clothes that are not very high maintenance. You go into the washing machine, you put it on the hanger, and it's good to go. I don't like ironing and that sort of thing. So having that uniform that's easy for you is really important. All right. Virtual background or background and props, right? So I got my mic, which is actually working mic, and I think working nicely, hopefully better than it was earlier today. For those that know, you know. And for your background, you know, getting something that represents you brand-wise, I think is a really good idea, especially if you're using a virtual background. Not everybody can because of limitations with technology. I do have a green screen behind me, which is why when I wave my hand, you don't see the funny green stuff that you would see using a virtual Zoom background because of the technology. Just getting something, though, on the virtual background tip, I created this using Canva. You can do that as well, canva.com, canva.com. It's a great thing. You can put together your background very easily, upload that to Zoom. If you're using StreamYard like I am right now, you can upload that to StreamYard. With StreamYard, you do need a green screen to pull the effect off. There are other platforms that allow you to pull in green screen and images like MiniChat, and now there's a technology called that I got led into today. So hopefully I'll get to try out some of the features that come with that and for future BizDev Live. So you'll see me using some of that software. But ideally, you want if you're on with somebody for half an hour to an hour, utilize that time. As my friend Rob Genovese says, burn that image into their brain. So, throw up your name, throw up your brand, and utilize that time that you're on that call to really set yourself and your brand apart by letting people know who you are and what you do. And that's going to be so much more brand representative than somebody that's just sitting in front of even a bookshelf, a nice looking bookshelf, which is great. Nice bookshelf, a couple forward facing books that help represent your brand, especially if you wrote the books. But if you didn't, just some ones that are representative of what you stand for and your brand can be very helpful to your presentation. And I really highly recommend it. If you have comments or questions, I really want to see them. I will answer them. Tips and tricks and advice. Other things that I will say that's really important is make sure that, in terms of your lighting, that you do have lighting that lights up your face so that you're not in darkness. You're not wearing a hat that covers stuff, or don't have things around that cast weird shadows. You can see this with the lighting that I have, because I have some overhead lighting and some side lighting that it's very difficult. I can put my hands in front of my face and you sort of see a little bit of shadow, but not much. So that's sort of an ideal scenario, is that you don't have a setup that's casting shadows on you. Hopefully that's helpful. Hit me with some questions and comments down below. Be happy to answer those for you. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. This is Cameron Toth, and this has been Biz Dev Live. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.